Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cult Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussel.
Jordan Jones.
Now, you might be wondering, hey, haven't you guys done Harry Potter before? You sure talk about it a lot. No, we just talking about it a lot.
And you might also be wondering, why now? I don't know. We just, back off, step off.
It never felt like the right time because we're avid fans, but also, I guess apologies in advance. We might regurgitate some things you've heard us say before, but hopefully we'll be coming at you with a lot of new information that we're finally getting off our chest.
I'm not coming at this as a fan. I've got an axe to grind. It's with one character that I'm watching as an adult. I'm like, get this guy out of here.
Just thought you ought to know.
Well, with no further ado, let's just get into it. We are doing Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Mark and I watched Philosopher's Stone. Is that going to be a problem?
That's going to be an issue.
It's the non-Jim Dale narrator. It's the British one. It's real lame. I could tell when they say colors with the U.
After his parents are murdered by the Dark Lord, Lord Voldemort, Harry Potter is sent to live with his no-nonsense, magic-hating aunt and uncle, the Dursleys. On his 11th birthday, Harry discovers that he is a wizard and is sent to attend Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, run by headmaster Albus Dumbledore. In a complete turnaround from his miserable upbringing, Harry flourishes in his cozy Hogwarts Castle, where he's finally able to make friends, exercise his talents, and of course, learn magic. Meanwhile, a plot is afoot to steal the Philosopher's Stone in an attempt to revive the fallen Dark Lord, Lord Voldemort. Harry and his friends try to unravel the mystery, defeat evil, and complete their finals by year's end. The worldwide sensation based off the best-selling book by J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
From the guy who brought you Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Rent, Chris Columbus, starring Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, Tom Felton, Richard Harris, Maggie Smith, and Robbie Coltrane.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Harry Potter 1.
All right, casting crew, like we mentioned, directed by Chris Columbus. Music by John Williams.
And you'll just know Christopher Columbus from bringing you all of your favorite kids' movies, it felt like, and just a magical touch, Mrs. Doubtfire. I love a good Christopher Columbus movie.
All your favorite kids' movies, and then Bicentennial Man.
Sad.
Some of your least favorite kids' movies.
True. And also some of your least favorite kids' movies.
Yeah, just he was around.
525,006.
Mark loves Rent. He loves
He
it.
He directed Rent?
Yeah.
Weird.
He has a very eclectic filmography, kind of.
All right, on to the cast. I'm going to kind of go from like when they are, seen in the movie. So, Richard Harris plays Albus Dumbledore. We just did Gladiator.
My Dumbledore.
My Dumbledore for sure.
My Dumbledore.
For sure, Gladiator. Count of Monte
Captain,
Cristo.
my Captain type Dumbledore is ours.
Yeah. Count of Monte Cristo big for Jordan and me. That got a lot of repeat watches. You kind of watched it so much that I was like, I guess I love this movie.
It was on HBO free weekend for like 4 years straight. So I watched it and I like it. Revenge, right? A dish best served smug.
For those of you keeping track out there, Gulliver's Travels. I mean, it's insane.
Also known for Camelot, Patriot Games, Juggernaut. I mean, he's had a long historied career. Obviously, passed away after the
famously big time drinking buddies with Peter O'Toole. They used to drink like a bottle of like a fifth vodka every day. They said. Go back and listen to him show up on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson and Letterman. He tells stories of, oh yeah, we used to tear it up.
Yeah, crazy Richard Harris story. He has a Rolls Royce that he had in a parking garage for 20 years that he didn't know about because he bought it blackout drunk, and he paid over the car's amount in the parking for the car when he was like, what is this payment I'm making?
I heard the reason he didn't go and look at it for 20 years is he didn't want to see dry blood on it and be like, please don't hit someone, please don't hit somebody. He's a heavy drinker. Good guy. All right.
Checks the front for hair and blood.
Is that a deer? It's a deer.
Maggie Smith plays Professor McGonagall.
Another one who's going to deserve some cred here. Also just passed away.
R.I.P.
Oh, yeah.
Go back and listen to our hook if it's still out there. Got me saying hello, boy, quite a bit.
That and Sister Act is when she first really got on my radar.
Yeah, I think Sister Act. She's a rare occasion that's been playing an 80-year-old for 30 years, and then eventually she just was one.
Yeah. Insane. Doesn't age, but just was 80.
In Sister Act, she was probably like 45. Yeah. She probably wasn't that old.
I had The Secret Garden on VHS growing up, so I remember her from that, I guess.
Solid.
Gosford Park, you may remember. A Room with a View, Lady in the Van, The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie, some of her bigger ones.
I get her confused with who's Bedknobs and Broomsticks?
Lansbury? Lansbury?
A little bit.
Do you think Maggie Smith sings A Tale as Old as Time?
I think she could.
Which is a better show, Murder, She Wrote with Angela Lansbury or Maggie Smith? Probably Lansbury still. It's her show. I'm not going to take it from her.
Hagrid is played by Robbie Coltrane.
Not a big guy in real life. Well, tall.
Well, not a tall guy.
As a fourth grader, I just assumed that was Robbie Coltrane. That was him.
That's him, all right. Oh, because you knew him from The Adventures of Huck Finn, where he plays like the Duke. He's one of the bad guys at the end.
Yeah, you're going to want to go see him in The Adventures of Huck Finn from 1993.
Good book.
He's in some James Bond movie, too.
He's in two. He's in The World Is Not Enough, and he's in... Oh, I didn't write... And he's in GoldenEye. Maybe
Which Bond? That's Pierce?
Yeah, he's in the Pierce Brosnan series. I forget kind of who he is. He's in Great Expectations, Brave, Arthur Christmas, Jordan.
Arthur Christmas is great.
It really is.
Go and watch it.
Ocean's 12,
Brave?
but I'm not sure who.
All right, on to Daniel Radcliffe plays the Harry Potter. Most recently, I saw him in Guns Akimbo, I think.
Oh, Guns Akimbo is actually kind of good. If you haven't seen the Al Yankovic story, it's weird and you should check it out. It's just kind of funny.
Is he Al?
Yeah, he plays Weird Al.
Huh.
It's a biography that's not at all true. It's a made up Weird Al Yankovic
It's a fabricated biography.
Yeah, but it's pretty funny. The Woman in Black was the first movie I feel like after Harry Potter that he kind of tried doing, and it was okay. It's just he was too young in my opinion. Jungle.
I think he struggled with he just is Harry Potter, so.
You know what though? Watch the show Miracle Workers. He's actually pretty weird and funny.
I actually think he's kind of evolved into like a fun character actor.
I agree.
Does quirky stuff, and there's no pressure on him, so he seems to enjoy it. Recently won a Tony. He in Lost City he plays the villain. I'm kind of into that.
Oh, the Sandra Bullock one.
Yeah, he was in a romantic comedy that I watched a bunch called What If from 2013. For whatever reason, it was just like on Amazon. Does he have chemistry? About as much as Dancing with Hermione in a Tent. But is it fine? Is it good? Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you a movie that Jordan really hyped
Romantic
up with Paul Dano, Swiss Army Man.
Yeah, Swiss Army Man was weird. Swiss Army Man, he plays a corpse. Go check it out.
If you don't like farting humor, you're not going to like the movie. I'm going to shoot you straight.
No, it's pretty heavy farting humor. It's a big reoccurring joke. But the director is the same director from Everything. It's the same directing duo from
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah. So their type of jokes, if you can imagine it, just really focused in on one farting joke the whole time. Swiss Army Man, take it or leave it. You got to crawl before you can walk. You know what I mean? It doesn't just start with butt plugs. Fights.
Dudley Dursley is played by Harry Melling.
He's actually really popped off recently. You might recognize him from Queen's Gambit, but The Old Guard, Harvest, The Pale Blue Eye, that movie that I've started 20 times with Christian Bale and keep falling asleep through, but it seems real good. Lost City of Z, The Devil All the Time, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Shoshana. He's actually kind of been in a lot of recognizable stuff.
He's trimmed out.
Yeah, his eyes look so much closer together now that he's thin.
Yeah, he almost looks like he should be in like Ratatouille or something like that.
Yeah.
As like a rat?
Yeah, no, as like a human, like one of the humans, I guess.
Okay, I got you. He looks French now.
Pixar-y. He looks a little animated.
I got you.
Let's go with the Dursleys quick. Aunt Petunia Dursley, played by Fiona Shaw. I didn't recognize her from much, but she's kind of a big role in in these next couple movies. So
I mean, I saw like she was in Black Dahlia, she's in Enola Holmes, True Detective, but I don't remember her specifically really in any of those, unfortunately.
Uncle Vernon Dursley is played by Richard Griffiths.
Go back and see our Sleepy Hollow. He gets his head cut off. Spoiler.
He's not the only one.
That's true. He's also in Adam Sandler's Bedtime Stories, a movie I forget exists, but I kind of like whenever it's on.
Professor Quirrell is played by Ian Hart.
Does not make it onto the other ones, obviously. Where do I have him? Why can't I find Ian Hart? He's in Enemy of the State, apparently. Escape from Pretoria. Oh, The Terror. If you haven't seen that yet, it's a miniseries on Netflix with Richard Harris's son about the ships that went to the Arctic in like the 1800s and froze there, and everyone died. It's like a long thriller drama.
For what it's worth, Enemy of State, go back and listen to it. We did it at one time. I don't know if the episode's up anymore. But out of all the movies we've done, that was wildly rewatchable.
Sure was. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
It's a real page-turner.
Star-studded cast.
Warwick Davis plays the bank teller, Professor Flitwick. And he's also the voice of Griphook.
He has a huge filmography.
We have to mention Willow, though. If you're going to mention Warwick Davis, you got to mention Willow.
That is like maybe his number one that pops off. Obviously,
it's his movie.
The Leprechaun series. He's been in the Star Wars, pretty much all of the Star Wars, I'm pretty sure, but like just different characters throughout. The Labyrinth.
We should do Leprechaun.
I'd be fine with that. We should save that for Halloween or for St. Patrick's, I guess.
Rupert Grint plays Ron Weasley.
He's in a movie with Molly Weasley.
He had a movie with Maggie Smith too that was like, wasn't that Driving Lessons?
Oh, maybe it was Maggie Smith.
It's Maggie Smith, Driving Lessons. If you haven't seen it yet, he's in Knock at the Cabin, which is a newer scary movie. It's actually really interesting and good. It's a good suspense movie.
I do believe, though, just so everybody's aware, that is an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
It is, but like
just so everybody at home knows.
It doesn't feel like it. It just didn't. He was also in Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities. He was in one of those episodes. Snatch, Into the White. It seems like all these kids did a World War II movie after this at one point.
They're British.
Cherry Bomb. He hasn't been at as many notable things as some of the other ones, but check out Knock at the Cabin if you haven't.
It looks like he's also in like most recently Servant TV series.
Yeah, I saw that, but I don't know what that is.
I haven't seen it, but I mean, it looks like he's in the whole thing. Like, must be a main guy in that. Emma Watson plays Hermione Granger. Perks of Being a Wallflower, The Bling Ring, Beauty and the Beast.
Jordan, Little Women.
Make it every 10 years. I'm going to check it out every 10 years.
Maybe one of the better Harry Potter cameos, and This Is the End.
Yeah, that's solid. I just watched that.
I'm pretty sure Tom Felton has a Draco cameo and Get Him to the Greek, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So that might be second best.
Yeah.
On to Tom Felton plays Draco Malfoy.
Get Him to the Greek. He has that one moment in there.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Looks like the Flash TV series he's in.
Anna and the King. He was a child actor. You may remember that. That was the King and I movie they did.
I believe going into this, he was the most decorated
child actor. Yeah,
child actor out of the group. We can save that for Unverified, or we can give it to you right there.
Ophelia in Secret, but Tom Felton, you know who he is.
John Cleese appears as Nearly Headless Nick. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Fish Called Wanda. Alan Rickman plays Professor Snape.
Go back and see our Die Hard. We're a little past Christmas, but it's not too late because it's not really a Christmas movie.
Go back and see. Did we do Love Actually? Can't remember.
Yeah, I think we have.
Go back and listen to Love Actually. Stay tuned for Dogma.
Oh, see, Dogma, great Kevin Smith movie. Unfortunately, it isn't anywhere because it was a Harvey Weinstein film, so it's kind of been scrubbed from a lot of streaming
Galaxy
stuff.
Quest.
Well, there's probably 3 DVDs at my parents' house. We can pull from there as well. I'll mail you each one.
Dogma is a great movie. Mark said Galaxy Quest for sure. Go back and see that. He's hilarious. Jordan, again for you.
We did Galaxy Quest as well.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Jordan.
Did you guys want to
something out with the spoon? Right? I haven't seen it in a while. It's been a while.
Did you guys want to touch on anyone else? I was going to draw the line there because we could. The cast is huge here.
The only other person that I threw in, I have 2 people. Ollivander, John Hurt.
Ollivander.
He's just a big actor. He was in 1984 Alien. The alien pops out of his stomach. The Elephant
But
Man.
you're gonna know him
famously-
most importantly, and I'll talk on this one. It's the Elephant Man. He is the Elephant Man. He portrays the Elephant Man, and it's the saddest movie in the fucking world. Anytime I see a list of sad movies that make you cry, Elephant Man never shows up. Maybe it's more depressing than sad, but I saw it too young, and I bawled.
Terrible.
But great.
But great.
He's also in Snowpiercer, Hellboy, Contact. But I mean, John Hurt's had a huge career also. And the only other person I want to give some shine on is Filch. He becomes he's a key character throughout the books, and he's funny in all of them. But
Where do you think I got this crazy straw?
David Bradley, you might remember him from World's End being pretty funny. You might remember him from Hot Fuzz being pretty funny. He's also in Good Grief, Lodgers, and the first Captain America. No, but like Mark said, this is a huge cast and crew, so we're going to have to cut it at some point. John Williams, we've also talked about to death, so I mean, you know.
No.
Oh, also, I think we as a group decided we're not going to try to recast, these kid actors and these sort of franchise quarterbacks. So it's like
Cameron's the only one that has deep knowledge of up-to-date British
child
kid
actors
right now.
Oh, just my roster's so deep. I mean,
so we're gonna take his word for it and check out his MySpace, and you can get that top 10.
I mean, the adult actors are renowned British actors. The child actors are nobodies.
We're not gonna
try to shoehorn Macaulay Culkin in next episode, and we're not going to try to shoehorn Shia LaBeouf in the episode after that.
HBO's already doing that for us.
Those are two Malfoys. Yeah.
Let's just wait for that cast list to be finally released. But
I'll put a caveat. Do you have one that you think is the best casting?
Severus Snape,
Alan Rickman,
Molly Shannon as Petunia. That's it.
Looks wise, I get that.
No. I was just saying which person do you like? Do you think is the best cast person? But we can do.
He was the new villain in the Star Wars series. Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Adam Driver
as Severus Snape. That's my only one.
If he can do an accent,
I just need him to talk like Adam Driver. That's fine.
Okay, then. I like it.
What are you guys doing inside on a day like this?
Turns out Cameron's just been working on his Adam Driver, Kylo Ren impression.
With that, do you guys want to move it on to Unverified?
Sure.
Yes.
Unverified. Welcome to the Cult Classic Movie Fun. It's November 16th, 2001. And currently in theaters, you could have seen Amelie with Audrey Tautou.
Could have.
Shallow Hal with Jack Black and Gwyneth Paltrow. Didn't need to. It was on HBO all the time.
I waited for that one.
Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson. Good movie. Good serious movie. Also on HBO all the time, actually, around this time. Black Knight with Martin Lawrence. That was a rental for me. The One with Jet Li. I like it. It was also a rental. One of my favorite lines from that movie. It ends with Jet Li saying, "I am no one's bitch." Spy Game with Robert Redford and Brad Pitt. I've actually never seen it. Out Cold with Jason London and Lee Majors. This is kind of like a National Lampoon movie. I like it. It has a good soundtrack. Check it out. It's just like a mountain party movie.
Not quite discovered Zach Galifianakis, right?
That is correct, yes.
Before he pops and, a lot of some other people, but
it's just a stupid stoner comedy, but check it out.
That was on heavy rotation in middle school for me at people's houses.
Frailty with Bill Paxton and Matthew McConaughey. Good, scary little thriller. I think it was Bill Paxton's written, produced, and directed by, or at least directed and
we
produced
called
by.
that the PG-13 suspense, almost scary movie, but not quite scary movie.
But it's good. Check it out. I wrote this one down. The TV miniseries Uprising with Lily Sabowski, Hank Azaria, and David Schwimmer came out this year. That was that Jew Uprising miniseries, but it was good.
That one. Sorry,
I'm a Jew. I could say that.
There's a couple ways to paint it, and he did that. Broad strokes, broad strokes, broad hurtful strokes,
as the name would imply. This one's for Mark, Barry, Kate, and Ashley. Holiday in the Sun.
Okay. Yeah, it is.
Are those rewatch worthy? I know they were around. What's their...
No.
It Takes Two. Were all theirs called It Takes Two?
Similar type of fun titles.
Passport to Paris was my jam, Cameron.
Okay. I do think that is a bigger one. I do think the Paris one Or do they just have like location set ones? Is New York in the title of anything?
From what I understand, it's like they were on vacation. They did a little film because all of them say filmed on location under it, like as if like we just were there and we did it.
We call that the Sandman move. It seems like he does a lot of that too.
You just have to do some alliteration, and they probably went there. Like Holiday in Houston.
No, I believe it was a New York Minute. Isn't that their New York one?
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to hit us up,
But luckily, you chose Harry Potter, and you weren't alone.
You were not alone. I don't know if any number I'm saying is correct. $125 million budget.
Okay. I mean, it was a big budget movie.
Box office is $1.26 billion. I don't know when they stopped taking it. I read that like opening day in America, they made $32 million, which topped any opening day to that point. I think beating maybe like a Star Wars or something.
There is an unverified where by like early...
It was like by January
next year. By like February 2002, it was the second highest grossing right behind Titanic.
Yeah. So you weren't alone.
You weren't alone. You guys obviously saw this in theaters, right?
Oh, yeah. In fact, Mark, we saw an early screening with a bunch of doctors because our friend...
Not this one, right?
Had tickets. Yeah, it was the first one.
You saw the first one?
Yeah, we saw it like before the premiere somehow, and I can't exactly remember the details, but one of our friends' dad just like got a hookup.
I have a kind of unique story behind it. Our family went, Cameron and mine's family went on like Thanksgiving around when it came, and I was in high school, and I'm like, I'm not going to go watch dumb Harry Potter with you guys. I want to go to a party. And there was some back and forth, and they're like, fine, go to the party. We're going to see the movie without you as a family, and we're not happy with you. So I go to this party, right? And then I'm there for about 45 minutes, and then somebody's like, hey.
You realize it was a mistake?
Nope. The other people realized they made a mistake because they came and picked me up from the party. I got a knock at the door, and they're like, hey, Jordan, your whole family's here. I think they want to see you. So I got picked up and I went and saw Harry Potter. But I was mesmerized.
You're welcome.
By it was a blessing in disguise.
Shout out to our mom. She was not alone in always imagining Alan Rickman playing Severus Snape. J.K. Rowling, specifically...
yeah, she handpicked like 3 of them, right?
Yeah, it was like 3 people. It was Robbie Coltrane, Alan Rickman, and Maggie Smith.
It had to be Maggie Smith, right?
Yeah, and I get the Alan Rickman one too. Robbie Coltrane for Hagrid, whatever. But she had those specifically thought out ahead of time. And kind of cool for Alan Rickman, she gave him special instructions about the character, essentially revealing what his whole backstory was going to be beforehand, just so he could have a little more insight to it. But he was the only character that got to know the events of the books to come beforehand.
I do believe I saw him in an interview when he was in between takes with people, and he made a decision, and they're like, why'd you do it that way? He's like, You'll see later. Just keep reading the books.
You'll
like
see.
He's like holding it over the head because he got like
how many books were out at this point?
I think 3?
3 to 4. 3, because after this, there's still a big 4 release, I think. 3 to 4.
We now know through Game of Thrones and countless other times that's a big gamble. Yeah, sometimes it's good to have the ending. In their case, it did. As we mentioned earlier, Christopher Columbus directed, but 1 million people were in the runnings for this. It's miraculous, in his words, that he got it. Most notably, Steven Spielberg contemplated doing it, but he had like 1 million other projects. And Rob Reiner, and he's a great director, but that one seems weird.
It is also kind of crazy that like J.K. Rowling specifically demanded that only British or from the British Isle actors are in her movie. Mark and I were talking about this off air, but famously at the time, you might remember Rosie O'Donnell and Robin Williams were petitioning hard. Rosie O'Donnell wanted to play Molly Weasley, and Robin Williams was hitting up Christopher Columbus because they had worked together a bunch to try to play Hagrid, but J.K. Rowling said no.
If I were to pick one of the two that would do better, it's probably Robin Williams as Hagrid, but there's just...
What more can I say?
It's splitting hairs.
I was hoping you're going to lean heavy Rosie there.
I see it, though. Like, if you set her from Brooklyn rather than Little Wingy or wherever the fuck they're from, yeah. I like Rosie O'Donnell for what it's worth. I feel like
Harry Potter set in fucking Cincinnati.
Oh, but on that Christopher Columbus train of thought, his daughter who
go
ends
back
up
and listen to our A League of Their Own, right? We did that.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. That's some good peeing.
His daughter,
I think
who
Kathy
later
Bates is Molly Weasley.
That's not bad.
I actually, because of Misery, I'd probably put her as Dolores Umbridge.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good.
That's really good, too.
But Christopher Columbus actually got this job because his daughter, who later got cast as Susan Bones, who is an American, but she doesn't have any lines, she got really into the books and asked her dad, like, can you get involved in this film? He knew that there was a lot of competition for it. So when he went in to talk to the studio, he had already gone through and rewritten the script a few times. And he said, here, you can have this. Whether or not I get it, it's already a great script, but I've touched this up because I want this to be a great movie. And they were just kind of blown away that he did that for free, that they were like, we'll hire him.
You're way less expensive than Steven Spielberg, and we're making cutbacks because this is going to be expensive.
Oh, this is kind of a weird, on just the money thing, that there was a little bit of a kerfuffle at the time building the sets. They filmed pretty much everything on location except for the Great Hall and the staircase in this one. But they spent a shit ton of money on the floor for the Great Hall. And at the time, they're like, why would you do that? But it was like one of the only set pieces that was in every single movie. It had thousands of people like walking on it, camera crews, and it lasted the entire time instead of having to be replaced. So
they did use practical effects for the floating candles. That was not CGI, at least in the first one.
Oh, I saw that too.
I think it later did come, and they're like, we had to light all these candles.
I was curious about that. Yeah, they said it was like just fishing wire, essentially, like on a stand on the bottom, and they had it on a bobbing rig. But eventually, a candle burnt and like fell, and they're like, this is a hazard, and they had to move to CGI. Yeah. But you can kind of tell in this one that it looks a little better.
Yeah. One thing that's surprising, though, and this is to Cameron's, they did film a lot of on location because they were rushed to do it, which sounds weird that you would rush, or they wanted to get it out by a certain time. So they weren't able to, in their words, create the Hogwarts that they wanted. And they eventually did.
I think some of that ended up being just that they were child actors and they had a very tight schedule to get these out before they got too old.
Yeah.
As you're saying.
Well, luckily for them, Daniel Radcliffe didn't really grow that tall.
That's true.
He stayed relatively petite. What they should have been worried for is the fucking adult actors, because they've been dropping.
That's true.
We got my Dumbledore only made it to 2. Would have loved to see him to the end.
The child actors and actresses would actually do schoolwork in the movie to make the school setting more real, and they probably had a test due.
You know what? I'm doing pretty bad homework if you're making me do that on set. I'm not paying attention. I'm worrying about my performance. I failed my class because of you, Chris Columbus.
100%. Richard Harris had trouble remembering his lines, and Daniel Radcliffe would ask him to help with running his lines just to give Harris a little more practice. So Radcliffe, helped him out there.
Sad fact, but Richard Harris was not doing great. He ended up passing away right after filming, I believe, of 2 from Hodgkin's lymphoma. Back to the casting too thing. 5,000 boys auditioned to be Harry Potter. But funny enough, originally when Chris Columbus got put on the film, they're like, well, who do you see as your Harry Potter? And he put in David Copperfield in 1999 that had a young Daniel Radcliffe in it. He's like, I want someone like that boy. And after like thousands of casting, they couldn't find him. And funny enough, they did reach out to Radcliffe, but his parents had kind of pulled him from acting. They're like, we want him to focus on his studies and we don't want him to become a child star, essentially, and we don't want to mess up his life. But ironically, by sheer coincidence, Christopher Columbus was sitting next to them at like a theater during during like a movie showing. And he ended up just slowly persuading Daniel Radcliffe's father to let his son be Harry Potter.
I think it was the producer, and they were at a play, like in the West End.
Yeah, I mean, they're both like, they're company men, but...
Somebody comes up to me while I'm watching the theater, and they're like, we want your kid to be something. I'm like, get out of here.
Get out of here. Don't touch my kid.
Don't touch my kid. Just think how many audition tapes of gingers that never made it for any of the Weasleys.
Oh, speaking of that, Rupert Grint sent a video of himself rapping while explaining why he wanted the part of Ron, so that may have set him apart from the other gingers.
This is one of those facts that I always remembered those kids saying on like talk shows like the Rosie O'Donnell show. This is one I actually can't remember. This is verified.
Did either of you guys make an audition tape?
Nope.
Nope.
Didn't.
Okay. One of our friends lied to us and said that his parents were trying to hook him up to be Harry Potter, and we were like, I don't think so, buddy.
What a crazy statement.
That's a crazy lie. It was at...
Hey, guess what? Susan Bones was saying that too. She's like, no, my dad's Christopher Columbus. He's going to direct. Everybody's like, shut up, Susan Bones. or whatever her real name is.
A little happier Richard Harris fact for you. And he'd been acting for over 40 years, and he stated that this production was the closest cast that he'd ever been involved in.
Yeah, but it's also because they recorded for 7 years, or like 10 years.
Well, not him. He only had 2 films.
Oh, sorry, Richard Harris?
Yeah.
He just didn't remember.
Yeah, but he'd been blacked out drunk for like 30 years.
Yeah. It also seems like
he had been problem on set for probably...
Dude had dementia.
I feel like whenever you deal with kids too, though, you spend more time building kind of like an atmosphere of trust or connections too, and like more workshopping. So I'm sure there's some of that leading into it.
Yeah, if you're lucky. It seems like I've seen some documentaries that say otherwise, Cameron. Nick, Nickelodeon.
I like this one. Tom Felton did not read any of the Harry Potter books before auditioning, and at the audition, Chris Columbus was asking each contender for the role of Malfoy what his favorite part of the book was. When it was his turn, Felton said his favorite part in the book was the part at Gringotts, which was what the previous contender had just said. And Columbus kind of caught on to that very quickly and thought it was kind of funny that he just...
But he loved him in Anna and the King. He's like, fuck it, I don't even care.
Anna and the King, on a side note, if you play film-wise, Invisibles, that shows up way more than you think. Shows up a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it win
and you're
a
like,
lot of
is
the
this
time?
the King of the... I don't even think so. You're like, it looks too modern to be the King and I. You're like, oh, it's Anna and the King.
You're like, I know it's the King and I, but it's just a little too modern.
It's a little more modern than the actual King and I.
We've talked a lot that they filmed on location, and there are a couple different facts to do with that. Mostly that they had some problems getting some of the churches and cathedrals because people, you might remember at the time, but Harry Potter was still kind of controversial of being a paganist, like propaganda shit.
Sure.
So there were some issues with that, but kind of an interesting one. The restricted section of the library is filmed at Duke Humphreys Building in the Oxford Library, but they have very strict rules, obviously, about bringing flames into the library. And they were the first people that were allowed to break this rule in hundreds of years for the filming of that with like the lantern.
Money talks.
In order to understand what he believed to be caretaker Filch's lonely lifestyle, David Bradley and his cat rented... David Bradley and his cat? What are we talking about? David Bradley and his cat rented an isolated Irish cottage in which to live for a month before filming began.
I'll tell you what, he didn't have to do that.
Why do you think I drink from this crazy straw?
But
he's not like isolated. He's around. Yeah, I mean, based off of some of his characters, he seems funny.
Chris is like, I need you to know, David, we're not paying for this.
You know you have like 3 scenes in this movie, right? Bit of a logistic one for you here. J.K. Rowling has admitted that she mixed up the layout of London's King Cross station. It really should be like platform 4 and 5 for what she thought to logistically make
4
sense.
and 5/5.
Yeah, and instead, it's more of a rural stop, it turns out, and she was thinking more inner city. Since then, of course, you may know that King's Cross is placed at 9 3/4 at the right spot, but it's not... It doesn't look aesthetically the same, so they did film at actually stations, the platforms 4 and 5 for the film, funny enough, per her request.
I'm fine with that. I saw this in an interview that, as we all know, Harry Potter is supposed to have green eyes like his mom. And they tried contacts for a day, but...
and buck teeth for Hermione, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And she probably just couldn't act with it. And
she couldn't talk, and Daniel Radcliffe had a reaction.
Like an emergent reaction.
So that didn't happen.
They should have digitally made his eyes green. I don't know why they didn't.
You have some dirt on your nose. Just there.
It's Wingardium Leviosa.
Leviosa.
We were talking about this, man. And Hermione's kind of the main person that says it, but there are 2 versions of this filmed. Anytime they said Sorcerer's Stone, they also did a version for Philosopher's Stone. There's an American, and then there's a rest of the world version of this film.
I did not know that.
What is that? Can you explain that to me?
Nicholas Flamel, the Philosopher's Stone. It's like literally, it's like a real legend lore of like immortality and like alchemy. It can turn metals into gold and stuff. But
and us Americans couldn't understand that or comprehend that. Yeah, they're like, it's sorcery. It's kind of like sorcery.
Some wizard stuff. A wizard did it.
Quit asking questions.
Should just call it a wizard stone.
Daniel Radcliffe went through 160 pairs of glasses. I think that's overall in all the movies, but why?
It better be, because I only have 1 pair currently, my new prescription, and that's just carelessness, Daniel Radcliffe.
There's a game I like to play with myself when I watch a movie. It comes up a lot in Tom Cruise movies. I think to myself, how many more pairs of sunglasses has he worn than I have in my life? Countless.
And he doesn't even wear them.
But his characters do. Like in every fucking movie. How many more trench coats has John Cusack worn?
How many times have you seen him out of it, you know?
It's true.
Last one I have is the tabby cat used in the movie ran away during filming and came back 2 days later.
Like that one. the McGonagall cat, I believe.
Real Dennis Rodman move. Sometimes you just need to let off some steam.
I'm happy.
Go back and watch, what's the Bulls documentary?
Oh, shit.
Final season? Last Dance?
Final season.
I'm happy we didn't go this route. And Jordan, you've been kind of harping on this for a while, but Warner Brothers originally considered making this either one, adapting like many books into one film, or making this a CGI thing. They were just worried that the kids were going to age out too quickly. So they ended up just having to put just like kind of, I think, strict contracts so that we're filming back to back so that we can get this done plausibly. But J.K. Rowling vetoed both of the ideas, and thankfully, anytime
I think it works.
If you combine books, it just you mash up too much and it ruins it. You know.
I'm glad like the books came out when they did, and the movies likewise. Just because I feel like if they would have come out like a little later, we might be looking at like a TV series of Harry Potter,
which we are now.
Well, we are now.
Are we really?
HBO, yeah they've been working on it.
They announced it. They haven't cast anybody that I've seen, and the release date is sometime in the next 20 years.
It's something like that. Yeah.
They definitely announced it, though. I don't know where it is. I don't know what's going to come out first. That or some version of Devil in the White City. But they're in.
Hey, I've seen a poster for Avatar 3, so he's getting a little more quick with those ones.
Oh, he spent a little less time down below on the ocean floor ever since one thing crumbled.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be topside for a little bit. I'll make another one of those Avatar movies.
Jordan did mention that Christopher Columbus said they felt rushed during some of the filming. And likewise, he stated in interviews that he was disappointed with the visual effects, saying that they were rushed and it was never up to anyone's standards. But ironically, this did not prevent them from being nominated for BAFTA for Best Visual Effects, the British Awards.
But it's like the most British film that came out like in a mainstream, so of course they're going to get nominated.
But looking back at it, some of the CGI is a little crappy in this one, and I was trying to just remember if it was like, is this just 2001 or is it kind of?
I think it's both. I think it is both. I think some of it's going to age out. Do you have any more unverified?
No, that's not really. Pretty much it. Oh, other than this one's kind of gross. All the food you see in the Great Hall Feast in the first movie is real because Christopher Columbus wanted to have like an elaborate, experience for the kids. But they had to, every day they would just switch out like the meats and the vegetables and stuff. But after 2 days, everything was smelling like shit in the Great Hall. So for the movies following, they did cast molds of all the foods.
That makes sense. He's like, smells like shit. Look at those floors. All right, action.
Last one. This is just kind of crazy. Professor Quirrell's classroom is filmed on location at Lecoq Abbey in Wiltshire.
Lecoq.
That's what it is. In Wiltshire.
Sorry.
In the room known as the Warning Room, the cauldron is not a prop. It's a 500-year-old cauldron that was used by cooks for Queen Elizabeth I.
Weird.
Crazy.
Really pops on screen, though. Yeah. Love the uses.
Real cauldron. That's all I got. This had a million facts. It has a bunch of...
Oh, yeah.
It's a big movie. It has a bunch of well-known actors. So let us know if we missed some of your favorite lore and facts on this, but we're going to move it on.
This is part of a handful of things. You can just type into good old YouTube and go, the making of Harry Potter series, and watch like 4 hours on it.
100%.
You can do that with the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight series. You can do that with a couple other things. Just do it if you got time to kill.
Yeah, there's a million sources out there if you're not as lazy as us and don't just want to skim off IMDb, so let us know what's out there. Well, with that, we're going to move it on to questions.
Comments.
Just more questions. No animosities. Animosities.
Questions, comments, animosity.
Just the first comment, just the hype around this movie and the promotion of it coming out. It was such a big deal. The books were a phenomenon, and everyone was just eager to see if the franchise could hold up or what it would be, you know? It was crazy.
And I think in real time it delivered like a hit.
Yeah, it really did.
They knocked it out of the park. There wasn't, I don't feel, much backlash except for like these guys are Wiccans type.
The religious side of it. But like Jordan, you just re-listened to the book, right?
I did, just in preparation. It's pretty like, they streamlined some things, but
well, I had this for like a comment
it's a really good adaptation.
A comment at the end of just like differences I remember, and like the main ones are like the Norbert the Dragon plot being a little changed up. The time before the train, Harry doesn't go straight from Diagon Alley to Hogwarts. He goes back to the Dursleys. They miss some of those challenges at the end, like the troll and the potion. And that,
the troll's pretty quick. The potion's pretty quick. But I think the thing that the book misses the excitement and importance of Quidditch, if that makes sense. They introduce it, but they kind of have to they got to move the movie along. So it's like, hey, here's your Quidditch. But the importance of the competition that gets missed in the movie for time.
Really,
and
all the movies except for like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, and that's one thing in the series. I'm like, I hope that you get the importance of Quidditch.
Oh, don't worry, Jordan. They have a miniseries on HBO. We're gonna have to fill some time. We might get the whole season of matches.
Hey, that'd be great.
But it was exciting seeing some of those things happen in the movie that you read, like the Diagon Alley, part when Hagrid says that, it's like, holy shit, there it is.
Well, even just like I said, we saw this premiere before it came out, and I remember like geeking out with that friend's dad being like, how are they going to do the troll on Halloween? And like, it's got to be CGI, but is it going to hold up? And just having like a long debate about special effects, and what they're going to do, and if the kid actors are going to be good enough. It was just a lot of curiosity about it,
Can I say one of the things that exceeded the book and really is a testament to their talent? John Williams, yet again, just knocked it out of the park. He created the theme to Harry Potter, and it really does add. I live the magic with. Dun, 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 dun.
It really is a great motif. My second note is just John Williams, everybody. John Williams, he did it again.
John Williams. But think how much, obviously it's synonymous with the movie now, but before that, there was no soundtrack. There was no theme to Harry Potter, and that just fucking kills it.
And like even just like moving on from that in the whole Potterverse, like he set the whole mood for like the video game. It sounds like John Williams' score, even though I'm pretty sure they're not using like the movie tracks. Like it's just like a set sound for the franchise now.
One of the things that I think from top to bottom, the casting was good with all the kids, and especially the teachers at the time.
The adult casting,
they didn't really have that many misses, especially in the first movie.
No, and honestly, the kid actors do good. The more I watch it,
they do pretty damn well.
The worse I see that they are. Hermione's obviously, Emma Watson's maybe the worst just because she's mouthing everybody's lines a lot of the time.
Yeah, she is, isn't she?
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw Christopher Columbus be like, we had to just cut from one shot to the next shot, so it's a little more stagnant than you would want to, even in a kid's movie, but they weren't trained actors yet, and I did the best I could, so step off. Is essentially he's like, I did pretty good, right? It wasn't too bad. You should see what I was working with.
I think overall we can agree. It was passable at the time. Nobody took me out of it.
I have a bigger question for you guys, sort of overarching question.
Sure.
Reading the books from here on after, did you have Daniel Radcliffe in your head as the Harry Potter you were reading about, or did that affect the reading for you guys going forward?
Yeah, I can't exactly remember what I had imagined for all these characters beforehand, but after the movie came out, it kind of slowly just drifted into those people. Yeah.
So I saw the movie before I actually read the first book. I think I started it once in 7th grade. So that was a factor in it. But there are people that I read that I'm like, oh, I didn't quite see it as this. I like the person that plays Mr. Dursley, but that's not how I saw the character in Aunt Petunia. Whatever. Small nitpicky things, but as I read the books, I'm like, this is it. Do you want to know? This is a flash forward. Just as much as I love the actor, I never saw Mad-Eye Moody looking like they depicted it.
Oh, also just another trickle down on verified. Christopher Columbus asked J.K. Rowling if she wanted to cameo as Harry's mother in The Mirror of Erised, but she rightfully said, no, I'm not an actress and I'll mess it up somehow. So, good on her.
Yeah.
Just also comment, this movie is up there, maybe my number one comfort movie, go to bed movie, study movie, background movie. I've seen this. How many times do you think you've seen this movie?
I mean, growing up, you got to remember that this came out at a time where you had I've seen way more than that. But like, you only had like 20 DVDs total at the time. You know what I mean? Like, and this was just in the heavy rotation.
Well, probably once a year for every year since it's
yeah. I mean, just like nostalgia reasons. Like, this is one of those movies though that can live in the background in like my DVD player and just like, oh, I'm just doing something that's on. You know, so I like not taking it in, but I've maybe seen this hundreds of times. Especially
the first two around the holidays for some reason. It really hits.
The first two Christopher Columbus are kind of my favorites.
Yeah, not my favorite books always, but
the feel, the aesthetic, the wardrobe, just kind of how he imagined like the wizarding world. I like his version a little more.
It's interesting because the first ones are warm, then they turn dark and whatever. So like you have that evolution from like a children's book to a young adult book. Essentially, it's kind of like your morph. So
part of that for me, I think, is some of the costuming too. Like in the first two, I think they're in their full like uniform, the robes,
way more
a lot. But like, and I get why they do it in the because they're trying. Like, I think the director, who's the director of the other ones?
Well, Alfonso whatever for 3.
Alfonso Cuarón.
That's the one I'm thinking
Gatins,
of. He asked the students what they wanted, like what they thought that they would dress like.
And he's like, wrong, it's fucking wizard robes. You guys are wearing the robes.
I believe I saw J.K. Rowling say at one time, I didn't imagine them to be in the robes all the time. And then I said,
I get that.
Why don't you shut the fuck up?
Hey, shut the fuck up.
Why don't you keep your mouth shut?
Why don't you write that in then, J.K. Rowling? Stop making all this goddamn guesswork.
Okay, so as a whole, we love it. They nailed it. You want to get to some nitpicks here and some comments and questions?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to knock it off right off the bat here. Professor Dumbledore, you don't drop off the chosen one and just leave with your cat friend and giant friend.
Oh, yeah.
Here, this note should suffice. Here you go, chosen one. I'm sure this doesn't matter.
Biggest animosity.
I'll just leave it on the footsteps.
Those psychos at the beginning leave a baby outside without even ringing the fucking doorbell. They just leave him there. Like, they're still Death Eaters. It's still a dangerous time.
Yeah. They look endearing. They're like, he'll be fine. We'll see you in 12 years.
And to kind of tie that in, Hagrid is a non-trustworthy alcoholic and should not be used to deliver Harry or collect him to Hogwarts. Like either one, that's too big for Hagrid.
The rewatch, and I've thought this as the series goes on, it's my number one bullet point. Hagrid's untrustworthy and Dumbledore's an idiot for letting him do anything.
Okay, so
the way he's letting out secrets about Nicholas Flamel and like he's just letting secrets go left and right. He can't be trusted with the baby.
Which I can't. That was kind of added in.
He's riding a motorcycle that we learn on later. It wasn't even his motorcycle.
Took it from a mass murderer. Well,
you could probably get a DUI at a flag motorcycle.
Not in the Isles, not in the British Isles, Mark.
Not in Wizarding Worlds, but Had he gotten on like street level. You're pulling over that drunk giant.
There's a bear on that motorcycle.
Holy fuck.
That bear doesn't look sober at all. It's dangerous, I think, to have him deliver him on the motorcycle sober. But he wasn't. It was a sad day. We just lost Lillian James.
It's true.
He was drinking heavy.
And Jordan, it was also a happy day. Lord Voldemort was defeated, so he was drinking anyway, too.
I know, his emotions were all over the place. He shouldn't be handling a baby. He probably put him in one of his many moleskin coat pockets. You know what I mean? Good God. I'm glad you brought that up. It's dangerous, neglectful. I'm mad at Dumbledore. You just do better.
Okay, so we
knock on the door and talk to the Dursley. Like, hey, a lot's going to happen.
Conversation here.
Let's talk this out.
Let's create an open line of communication.
Yeah, I'll be here if you need me. Not like... He'll figure it out. We'll send the letter by owl in 12 years.
It's a homeless giant.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he has a hut. He has a hut.
Home.
Mark.
He's got a hut. Okay, fine.
On the border of the grounds.
So he's not untrustworthy. Like, I trust him. He's just negligent. So you can't, he's not to be trusted.
He's a good guy.
But I trust that he's doing the best as he can.
Yeah, he's a good guy and he means well. It's just he's dumb and can't keep a secret.
I'm going to pick up Harry. Dumbledore told me I'll murder anybody that gets in my way, but I do have to have 6 buckets of whiskey before.
Yeah.
And he's just making bad choices.
I will say this,
though. An Andre the Giant amount of whiskey.
It's been a long time since I've read one of these, but I came across a Reddit thread that was like, it's been said that like even Dumbledore has to like say spells aloud most of the time because nonverbal magic's hard. And we know from experience that when Ron broke his wand, like it was pretty much unusable. But Hagrid's out here using a wand and an umbrella and never using a verbal command too. So people are theorizing if he would have gotten through Hogwarts, he would have been like stronger than Harry and Voldemort. It's like he would have been a half giant who could just do really good magic.
Well, so who fixed him up? Did somebody hook up his umbrella or what? He's just.
I mean, you don't lose. Hook him up.
I think we say at one point that Dumbledore gave him his the pieces back or something like that. But I don't.
So I thought about that. Right, he got expelled from Hogwarts, but that doesn't mean he can't do magic anymore. It means he just couldn't go to school at Hogwarts. Why didn't he? Now that we know this is a spoiler, why didn't he go to Durmstrang or something? Like, get a real education, you drunk
Jordan, because he was legacy. He couldn't have gotten.
And hey, we all love Hagrid, right? We love him.
He's
But
fine.
just
Hagrid.
rewatching it, just a mess.
Yeah.
And who's to blame? It's Dumbledore. It's not
Jordan,
Hagrid.
because he was a legacy, and that's why he got into Hogwarts. So he's sure as shit not getting into Durmstrang or any of these other schools.
The real question I always want to get is how did Hagrid's parents actually physically hook up? I've always wondered that. I'm sure there's a bunch of information on the internet. I just don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Nor should
Why can't they just keep baby Harry at Hogwarts?
Yeah, it seems like it could be just as safe with Dumbledore. Like, we later find out the family magic's protecting him, but so could Dumbledore.
There may be some stuff I bring up here that's easily disputed by the book, but I'm just kind of focused on the movie here.
That's fine.
Why do the Dursleys have this little abandoned vacation shack?
If I recall from the book, they just he rents it out.
Okay, so I can mention this one for him. I think that Vernon goes mad with all the letters, and he's like, "We're getting out of the house," and he just ended up there.
No
by
post on
driving.
Sundays.
No posts on Sundays. So to get to talking about the Dursleys, I think that Dumbledore should have intervened a lot more than he did.
Well, that's what I was going to say a second ago. Like, we established the world a little bit more, but he seems dangerously careless in this one of like, Harry lived in an abusive home for a long time. He gives him a peep and invisibility cloak to like an 11-year-old. That's just asking for problems. Mm-hmm. And then he kind of knowingly lets him face Lord Voldemort before he even takes his first year finals. He doesn't know enough magic to do this. Wildly reckless.
Do you think that this whole time while this is happening, Dumbledore's got his omniscient, watchful eye on the situation, or it's just we got lucky?
No, I think it's only in one case when he's like, Harry, stay the fuck away from my mirror. I know you've been in here, and I don't want you to be around this mirror again.
This is my. Oh, so you think that it's Dumbledore's mirror?
Yeah,
this is my mirror. I see my dead sister in this mirror or whatever.
He lies and says socks.
He does.
Oh, also just comment.
We knew it wasn't socks.
I'm an avid Harry Potter fan. There was a time where I listened to the books constantly and used to know an absurd amount of Harry Potter knowledge. But a lot of that has left my brain, thankfully, for things I need to know on a daily basis.
Other more important things.
Yeah, so I don't remember as much as I used to, but God, I used to know so much.
There would have been a time I could have quoted quite a bit of this movie, but that was, 20 years ago. Probably
you just have you have the big hits. My body's
the big hits. My body's gone. I've got, let's see here. Richard Harris is perfect. Want to make that. Here's a question about.
I would like to just piggyback. Yeah, he's my Dumbledore.
And he might even be my Gandalf the Great. I'm not a fan of those books. I'm not a
And he doesn't even play it.
No, I know. I'm just saying I would take him as well.
Gotcha.
Just if we're playing at home. He's my Gandalf the Great.
Sadly, Richard Harris did request that his good friend
Ian McKellen
take over for him as Dumbledore, but they just didn't listen to his request.
Do you think Ian McKellen's like, I'm good, I'm already playing
a wizard?
Gandalf the Great?
No, they were good friends. I'm sure he would have done it.
I always had a weird one for him after the fact. It was, oh, Jesus Christ. Billy Connolly. Is that a little too weird?
No. He's fun.
At least in the first ones when they were kid movies before he's yelling at everybody to...
On that, some of the adult dialogue is a little campy, and I get it's a kid's movie, but that's maybe my only animosity with the actual adult performances, that sometimes it's too cheesy pie.
So, okay, there are some weird...
Mostly Hagrid.
Back and forths, but is it director's choice, or is it just you're kind of pigeonholed that it is a kid's movie and we're not quite there yet?
You're talking to a kid.
It's the first one?
Yeah, I think it's
some of it does play a little off in rewatching now, just with like a more watchful eye and retroactively. Do you know what just ages the worst? It's not the Quidditch scenes, it's the depiction of centaurs for
should have been a human head.
Didn't like it that much.
Should have been a human head.
I'm fine with everything else. Could have been as floating as my body's gone. Just put a human head there for me if you could.
Yeah,
a real live human head. Mr. Tumnus are at about the same time had goddamn goat legs, and a human top. Let's do a little better next time,
wasn't it?
I doubt that much, right? When was Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe? I feel like they nailed that.
While you look that up, just a brief comment. There was a period of this movie where I really wanted a pet owl, unobtainable. But then there was a period I wanted a pet rat, and we had a teacher that sold rats. Very obtainable. Thankfully.
Spanish teacher?
Yep. Thankfully, nobody in my family let me get that rat.
Let's talk about that. What are you guys bringing to Hogwarts?
Nothing. I'm a Weasley. I'm poor, man.
Ron still brought a Scabbers.
Yeah. I bring a cat, right? You can bring a cat.
Yeah, bring a cat. I don't want to take care of an animal while I'm at school.
Mark, you're right. It's 2005. Lion the Witch Wardrobe.
Thought so.
So they figured it out.
Is there a rule? I'm surprised we're not seeing any like magical puppers out there.
I don't know. Dogs. I mean, I believe they can bring a cat, a toad, or an owl if you wish, or a frog.
And a cat, yeah. It's
rat.
owl, cat, toad, or rat.
I mean, the baller move is owl, but like how many letters are you really writing? I don't know, but it's to flex.
Huge animosity.
I'm bringing a cat.
I'm a wizard.
Yeah, I'm going cat.
I'm a wizard, and we're relying on bird messenger mail. That's what we're doing.
I'm actually gonna even one up you. Electricity. We should have better lighting system there. Like I love the ambiance.
It comes up in like book 4 where like electrical devices don't work around magic apparently, and there's too much magic in Hogwarts because they talk about having a radio or something, and Hermione's like, you can't have a TV here. And we know that they can use the Flu network and other immediate methods, but like, you got to think of a magic cell phone, something.
Yeah, and you can use that. Yeah, just put your head in the fire.
Yeah, I mean,
that seems quicker.
Yeah, that's tough. I think I'd want to chalk it up tradition. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like with the rowboats getting to crossing the lake to get to Hogwarts. It's like, can't we just
see that? Well,
I was actually thinking
that's
about
beautiful,
this.
And I get that. But Mark, like, I want to have tea with you today, and you get that owl 2 weeks later because of storm. Like, it's just things are going to happen.
So Hedwig has to be the like least used owl because who's Harry correspond with, like his 4 friends, and it's just around his birthday.
It's like Hagrid on the ground, Dumbledore up in his office, and
he's having like free flights. Can you imagine how many owls? Unless there's just magic put on the owls, they must just run through owls, run them ragged. Can you imagine how many owls die in Dumbledore's office? Just all the corresponding he's doing.
Well, Jordan, that's why
owl for that.
That's why the Weasley owl is so run down.
Does Fox drop off all his stuff? The Phoenix?
He seems to. The movies make me believe he has instantaneous fire magic too, so I think he's doing cool, different Phoenix message. Yeah,
you can do that clap thing for sure.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, they said about 1,000 of them to try to get Harry to come when Dumbledore could have just knocked on the door and be like, "Hey guys, I'm back."
Why isn't anyone answering my fucking letters? What is happening here?
A lot of negligence.
Because you said fucking owls. That's exactly right.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not hashtag the Dursleys, but yeah, it would drive me mad if 10,000 owls showed
There's shit everywhere.
There's so much shit everywhere. We're going out. We're going to the cottage on the sea.
You know what?
That's a moment in the movie I think plays out more in the book. It's like...
yeah, they're there for a while.
Hard to blame them. It's
like the Shining episode of The Simpsons. Is Dad going to murder us all? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. So as long as we're going this transition from Harry to Muggle to Wizarding World, I've always thought, oh my gosh, there's going to be so much he has to catch up on. But I actually think the bigger problems will be when Harry talks to other Muggle-born wizards. They'll be like, hey, what was your like pre-wizard life like? He's like, I slept under
Sundays with cheese and crackers under the stairs, and then they'd let you out for sunlight twice a day.
Like, I think there's nothing but wild red flags here. Like, his life was really messed up, and I don't think that I think that's what's going to hold him back more than being Muggle-born. It's going to be his indentured servitude.
You guys had locks on the inside of your door?
Oh, also counter
that and writing with quills. Like, just bring a real pen.
Oh God,
like, I
would bring a pen to the Wizarding World. They'd be like, "What the fuck is this? Look how clear Cameron's handwriting is." Cut to my like serial killer chicken scratch.
What else? I
wonder what a Chris Columbus just whole series would have been like.
Lighter, happier, even with the darkness.
When I was younger, I'm like, oh, I would have wanted Chris Columbus to do all of them. But it turns out he kind of specializes in kids movies,
adventure.
Right? And the series evolves to more action adventure and like, at one point a teenage drama. And
it just gets into like what was big at the time was post-apocalyptic teenage dramas, and it kind of turned into that too, in a way.
Which I don't like those. I like that this is set, although be it, at a wizard school, it's set in reality. And those other ones aren't, you know what I mean? Post-apocalyptic world.
I gotcha. Oh, we were talking about sorting a second ago. Question. So in the book, it's all in your head, the hat hearing you. So the mouth's moving. Can we assume that in the movie version, everybody can hear what the hat is saying?
Yeah, but
That's
maybe
what
it's
I
a
always
dull
thought.
roar. I assume so, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're a closeted homosexual. It's all here in your head. Jesus, hat.
And then the kid's just like, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. The Sorting Hat's just outing everybody. Rough go. Although, let's be honest, that Sorting Hat is old.
Very old.
And probably not in touch with the times. I'm sure he says some pretty colorful
every year it
things
says
sometimes.
one or two things that everyone's like, ooh, Jesus, heck.
Ooh, can you say that?
Animosity, Ron should know far more about magic. Maybe not how to use it, but at least know about stuff.
There should be no way that Muggles, at least for the first year and a half or 2 years, should be in the same wizarding classes.
No, there's got to be rudimentary.
People that grew up with wizards.
No, there's got to be like a gen eds, like catching these kids up to speed, and then maybe and vice versa, teach those wizards math, maybe like how to spell, because it seems like they don't get that.
Yeah, there's definitely like lapses. I mean, Harry's quill skills, albeit like, man, I've never written with a quill. He's got to be way better at spelling words than anybody else.
Oh, for sure. But talk about something that
potions alone, the fact that he probably did math has to help him in potions. Right?
Talk about a learned skill though that's not going to go anywhere until TikTok comes around, and it's just going to be Harry writing people's names on a live stream or something. Do you guys ever come across that guy? I see him all the time.
100%. That's so soothing.
Yeah, I like my signature personally, and then I see those, I'm like, I'm a garbage person. And
I sit on there waiting for like marks to come along, and it never comes.
You never see a Cameron, and I'm never going to comment, never going to like.
Never going to like or comment.
I don't know if I've seen a Jordan, but I've definitely seen J's. They show me how to make J's.
Yeah,
yes,
that's half the battle.
Right.
Yeah. Got two.
Is all the battle. I have questions leading up to the finale of the movie.
Oh, well, that's the
but
end.
then in particular, in large part,
Let's get into Gringotts, let's get into Diagon Alley a little bit.
Okay, tell me about it. What do you got?
I'm just thinking, if I'm Harry, I don't know if I want to open up an account at Gringotts.
Well, it seems like you already have one, so you've already.
Isn't there like a Chase or like a Wizard Bank of America or something with a debit card action?
We do know that
use?
Gringotts does an exchange rate because later Hermione's parents come and they have to get wizard money. So he could just day one be like, "Great, can we get this in dollar bills as soon as possible?"
Right. As soon as possible.
Cut to like,
I need that in pounds.
Hey, Hagrid, did you get Harry? Because he didn't show up on the first day. What's going on here?
again, I just don't. Hagrid shouldn't be the one running errands with them. I'd be surprised if Hagrid knows all the coins and what they're worth.
Yeah, and I mean, again, if we are worried about, maybe someone attacking him, like, we're just having Hagrid protecting him, that's not enough.
He goes in. This is day 2 of Harry knowing he's a wizard, and we don't even know if it's real yet. Like, we're still skeptical. He definitely got kidnapped by a giant.
You're saying that's an easy way to kidnap any kid? Hey, you're a wizard. You want to come with me? Take you to magic school.
Oh, wait, you mean take somebody from a horrible upbringing? Yeah, I think that's like kidnapping 101. That's like how you groom people. Hey, take all this out. Don't get to me on kid. I don't want to talk about kidnapping.
No, I mean, that's
the moment that Hagrid goes into the Three Broomsticks, he's like, "Got Harry Potter here, lots to buy, busy day," and he just blows up the spot unnecessarily. Just walk through, get to the fucking alley, tap 3 to the left, and get in there. Get some
He's not
books.
a thinker. I got it.
Anyway, love Hagrid. Nothing bad to say about him.
This is not
Just
a hate
whole bunch of
Hagrid
bad things.
podcast. It's just he's
I love him. Robbie Coltrane, great casting, nailed it. Maybe the best
R.I.P.
cast in the movie, and there's a lot of them.
As a first-year student, just comment, you would see me at the sorting because I got led there. Then there's a chance you'll never see me again because I just got lost in the halls. And where the fuck is our dorm? Oh my God. I've been sleeping in the halls for a week.
I think those are called Hufflepuffs. I don't think they even have a common room, Cameron.
if I get sorted into Hufflepuff, I'm gonna be smoking wizard weed, and I'm more of the Seamus.
Yeah,
type.
happy as a
I'm gonna
clam.
be causing I'm gonna be blowing stuff up on accident. I'm gonna be causing issues left and right.
I'm definitely not getting in adventure situations. Like, I'm just getting through finals barely, but I'm having
I'm stressed.
great time. Oh yeah.
I'm fucking stressed.
Yeah, especially coming from I'm coming from Muggle world. I'm like, this is a lot to deal with, and I just don't think I'd probably have to have meetings with
Your academic coach,
academic
just to like,
advisors. Yeah, and I'm just like, this is a lot to deal with. And I'm just not ready for this. I'm flunking everything.
What is the end game for like a Neville Longbottom? What is the end game for like a Seamus or a Neville Longbottom?
Still like a shopkeeper or barkeep, but in the wizarding world. Like they still have them. It's just they clean with magic too, and you know.
Yeah.
So does every wizard enter the workforce at 17?
Yeah. No,
that's it.
No.
There's no graduate school. There's no college.
No, we're in Europe. We take a year off to travel.
This is everybody in the workforce.
No, we take a year off to go backpacking through different wizarding countries.
I actually think this is what I would do, and I've thought of this. If you're a bad wizard, just fucking scam muggles and live in the muggle world.
Yeah, just be the best muggle.
Shitty wizard skills that are amazing for muggles. Just be the best muggle.
Smuggler.
Go get a job and just... Like, you're not going to get in trouble for, like, doing what's the confundo or whatever. Just make your bosses think you're good at your job in the muggle world and just kill it.
See, here's why...
Or just rob people. I'm sure you can magic real cash.
See, this is why the readers want so badly to become a wizard and get this letter, because we understand how much we would just kill it in the muggle world if we were just the worst wizard in school. We would just come back to my normal life and be like, oh, great, I'm a god here now.
You know what the worst wizard that completes Hogwarts is? Still a wizard.
Yeah, still doing fine.
Yeah.
Still a fucking wizard.
Yeah, still cooler than me.
Talking to you, Susan Bones.
Seamus completes 8 years. You're a cobbler.
His mom's a muggle, dad's a witch. Nasty shock when he found out.
Now, Jordan, let me ask you this. As a parent, do you send your kid to Hogwarts knowing it's pretty dangerous and kids die? Kids are going to die.
I'd have to see the exchange rate from dollars or pounds to...
Like how much it's going to cost to like send them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I guarantee you're getting screwed on that exchange
Full
rate.
scholarship. It's like a weird transfer thing. We're bringing in American this year.
Then
but you're also getting a British kid for the year in your house.
Oh, pass. Hard pass.
What time? Okay, I'm gonna try.
Good point, though.
No,
Ken.
I wouldn't want any. I wouldn't want any.
The child endangerment just kind of gets glossed over, like throughout Hogwarts here. Like, don't go up to that forbidden chamber because you'll fucking die. It's horn slow.
Is Harry's dealing with the Voldemort era that Harry goes to school? Is Hogwarts always dangerous, extremely dangerous for kids? Or we?
Oh no, Jordan, we're
exceptionally dangerous.
We're in the good years post World War II. If you remember, it was a nightmare before Harry, right as Harry was born. So these have been the good years.
You mean in 1992 or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying Wizard World War II?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Still in Germany.
I thought you were just saying World War II was rough for those wizards. I'm like, yeah, everybody's kind of going through it. And honestly, selfish of you wizards, you should have ended that somehow, right?
Oh, to the point of the kid, though, I let them at least go to sorting. If they're Slytherin, I pull them and get them into counseling. If they're Gryffindor, I pull them. They're just too close to the action. Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, write it out.
Safe.
Yeah, safe.
I bet a bunch of Ravenclaw kids go to postgraduate, post-elementary school, post-high school learning.
Yeah, they're readers.
Yeah, they're major minoring and all that, all that smart shit.
Meanwhile, Harry's like, we have majors? Holy shit. Wait, what do you mean? I thought we were just trying to pass OWLs.
Oh, I was going to say, so I know the wand picks me, right? I'd want it to be something like elegant, like the unicorn hair wand. But I'm afraid that Ollivander would pick me out just like a fucking toenail or a troll toenail.
Well, Mark, here's some driftwood in the back hair of a troll.
Yeah, fuck.
This one's calling to you.
I mean, we go on to learn that the wand making is a mysterious art craft, but there definitely seems to be a little Ouija boarding and how the wand really picks you with Ollivander.
Yeah, maybe a little guiding there.
I'll say this: who am I to judge how you run your shop? But you should have people test out your wand in like a side room and not blow up the whole fucking shop.
Like a gun range, yeah.
Yeah. Just like, hey,
Jesus, don't point that over here.
God damn it. It's going off everywhere. Is that just special treatment for Harry Potter? Ollivander definitely seems checked out at that time.
A lot of cleanup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know they can.
But thank God that Neville Longbottom just graduated and he's great with a broom and dustpan. So,
it'd be kind of sick if like Ollivander had like back to school ads like in the wizard world, like
I assume he does in
come on down to Ollivander's.
No, it's more like it's that medieval sounding shit.
No, it's like Ollivander's curious, and it's just him being way too strong and weird. It's like we don't need a commercial or whatever they call.
You could tell he
definitely Vander.
Yeah, the vibe I get from him is at the end of every Men's Warehouse where you're gonna like it. I guarantee. It's like you don't got to do that. Like you don't
worry, the wand will find you.
So if you don't break your wand, does it just ride it until the end of life? Is it a one purchase, or
No,
do
because
many people upgrade?
People, it sounds like, do buy better wands, but does that just mean that Ollivander's like, you know what? Now this very nice one's calling to you.
Yeah,
right.
He's upselling rich people like an asshole. Yeah, I don't trust him. Speaking of how, I mean, obviously,
This
the more money you
nice one is speaking to
Yeah.
you.
Curious. I haven't sold a wand this expensive since Voldemort 50 years ago. What a sucker. Your parents are dead? And that drunken giant buying you an owl? Why don't you come and step into my office? We'll get you something with unicorn hair. Rare ass one. I bet that was an expensive one.
Oh, speaking of preferential treatment too, just animosity. McGonagall buys a student a top of the line broomstick, and it doesn't say like we used Harry's funds. She essentially bought him a car. She bought a freshman a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like a first grader. Not a freshman.
And not me at like 11 years old screaming at the screen, it's a fucking broom, you idiots! As they're like,
what's this?
Oh, I wonder, what is this?
What's this parcel shaped like a broomstick with a seat on it?
That's the one small animosity that I have with Quidditch. As talented as you are, you can just buy the best version of the broom and be way better than everybody.
Jordan, gloves, they make you catch a football, just the advancements.
True. I mean, that happens in real sports, yeah, but,
I might not play Quidditch just because getting those bludgers back in the box seemed like a real fucking hassle.
Oh, just again, do you send your kid here? It's just an unbelievably dangerous sport.
Chances are, and I'm not judging here, if you grew up with a wizard as a kid, but you didn't know they were a wizard, probably had some difficult years. You're like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Well, there's a good chance
my house started on
There's
fire.
a good chance I took it to a Catholic church. I'm like, you need to cleanse this boy.
Yeah. Yeah. How many exorcisms did you have before you're like, oh, he's a wizard? Great, get the fuck out
Oh,
of here.
thank God. Burn him. We know what to do here.
Yeah, because like kids have temper tantrums now. Imagine if you had magic behind that. I'd be toast.
That scene when, this is later, but like when Voldemort's like, I can hurt people if they're mean to me. Be like, yeah, I guess that's just an average kid if he has hurt powers. Yeah. But like even like you're like Quidditch is dangerous. In broad daylight, someone tries to kill Harry Potter, and the response time to like essentially a thing bucking him to death is like 5 minutes. So if your kid just falls off his broom in a match from a bludger, he's dead.
I assume if you don't die from a fall, it makes it seem like they can fix you within a couple days for the most part.
Yeah, as long as your brain's not real hurt, it seems like they can always bring that back. But if
they can regrow bones. I mean, paralysis never really comes up in the books, but I'm sure that, people run into it from time to time.
I'm sure there's a magic form
with
of
the Whomping Willow and everything. I don't think that they ever really nailed Quidditch in the movie form. That's one thing I'm actually excited to see in the TV series. Maybe that becomes a bigger plot point.
You have that many hours to fill, you're going to have to expand on it.
I think aesthetically from the first movie, outside of some of the CGI characters, Quidditch is what aged the worst. It just looked roughed and rushed and didn't quite get there. But,
A bit on the troll. It looks a little cartoony now as opposed to like...
Oh, the troll especially, almost worse than the Quidditch.
I just have always hated how they did Firenze or Firenze, however you
The
say
centaurs,
it.
I imagine them as human tops, horse bottoms, not werewolf tops and horse bottoms.
Harry Potter, this is where... I'm like, get out of here, you fucking centaur. Like, Firenze, I don't like...
Kind of fucking hot, though.
There's this funny... I think
it's chiseled this, all can be.
I think it's a king... I think it's a Kids in the Hall. I think it's a Kids in the Hall group. A centaur is going in for a job interview.
That sounds familiar.
And during this job interview, the person doing the interview is like, hey, you're a centaur. Do you ever like have sex with the horse? He's like, no, I would never have sex with the horse. I have sex with centaurs. He's like, if you just saw a horse from the back, and it just goes on like this until he gets him to admit that he would have sex with the horse. He's like, I knew it, you fucking horse fucker. And then he like kicks him out. I think that's a sketch. Wow, that was a waste of time.
So I have just a big animosity with Quidditch I have from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Does the scoring matter at all if the seeker can just
No.
It's that
like
pissed me
whose
off.
line is it anyway?
The points don't matter, Mark. It's just like, thank God someone ended this match 4 days in. That's what this game's about.
Oh, actually, Megan had a good line. The House Cup is like, whose line is it anyway? Points don't matter. And
Yeah. No.
like they don't. And we'll get to that, I assume, sometime.
Yeah, that's a pretty big animosity at the end. Just a question for, it's Harry's invisibility cloak. It's his dad's, but doesn't it seem pretty irresponsible for Dumbledore to give an 11-year-old boy a sneak around invisibility cloak in the school? Like, maybe wait till he's 16. No, even then. Maybe wait till he's out of school.
Yeah, a lot of hormones at 16.
Harry, do whatever the fuck you want with this.
The weird thing about the invisible cloak, at least in this movie, it seems like Dumbledore can see him.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Which I don't think that you'd be able to.
I'll tell you what, I'm not using it for like Hardy
The
Boys
second
type
one.
shit. I'm using it for...
Oh, yeah, Mark's
What
perving.
you-
Mark's perving
Probably
hard.
more like a more Porky's type situation.
We haven't
I'd
seen Mark
imagine.
in like 3 weeks. Anyone seen Mark?
You realize that's an
Cut to, like,
invisibility
just in
cloak,
your
not
ear.
we can still hear you.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Mirror of Erised? You guys want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, question. What's your mirror of Erised? What are you seeing?
Socks.
Okay, Dumbledore. I think I'm just seeing me watching TV without a care in the world.
Holy
I don't
shit.
know.
It's just me.
I'm fat as fuck.
Just a little bit better of a hairline. I don't know. Something a little better. No, I don't know. I don't know what my Mirror of Erised would be now. As a kid, it would just been like Ron shit.
Yeah.
Like Ron shit. It wouldn't have been like I miss my family shit.
I think
We're in
mine-
Ron scenario.
Mine would have been more of a McDuck Scrooge thing where I'm diving into gold coins,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So I know that the world builds a little bit more and we get more solidified, but it's kind of crazy in this one that detention is going into the dark forest, which is just like it's another thing. Like we're sending our kids to this school.
Yeah, Harry Potter 1, we definitely start in a different Hogwarts than we evolve into. Like, Hogwarts gets to me more set in reality
Yeah.
or everyday life. This one's
Yeah.
whimsical. This one's still a kid's book. I mean, Dumbledore's practically some version of, like, Mr. Magoo meets not Magellan. Who's the wizard?
Mr. Magoo.
Merlin. You know what I mean? He's kind of like somewhere in the middle. He's not quite like a
Yeah.
real character yet.
That's exactly right.
I mean, okay, so he is all powerful, but it is a little ridiculous that he has no idea. Well, I guess the later books we do find out that Dumbledore knew all along that Quirrell had Voldemort under his head and he was letting Harry, as an 11-year-old, just do this on his own, but...
You guys
So that's
should...
the big thing. Like, how much does Dumbledore know? He's tested him throughout the whole time. and
He says in the later
watchful
books, he's
eye.
like, yeah, we had to see how you would do. So we just let Voldemort roam the school with a bunch of kids.
You should see what they were going to have as Voldemort on the back of his head.
Oh, that's been
It
popping
is-
up on your TikTok too, a bunch, huh?
Yeah, it was like this prosthetic that looked absolutely frightening.
Much
A lot
snakier.
better.
Pointier.
Yeah, a lot snakier for sure.
More vicious.
I would have liked a prosthetic. I know they use some and like some wide shots. It just would have aged better, as we always say, than like the CGI face.
True. How many people do you think saw Quirrell or Voldemort's ghost face leaving from like the secret chamber on the 3rd floor, floating all the way out of the school? It's like he had to go somewhere. It's like just like it's a big castle.
I can't remember. Is that a version of a Horcrux in the end, or is that just some? We weren't there yet, so we didn't think about
think
it.
so.
Like, was that him killing a Horcrux?
I think that did get added in. Yeah, because he tried living things with Nagini and Quirrell. I believe so. Yes.
So I have a big question. Are we there yet? We haven't gotten to all the unnecessary tasks leading into
No.
the end. Do you want to get there? Are we not there yet?
There were. I was trying to remember as I watched this, just like some of the biggest differences from the book to the movies, and those end tasks are kind of the biggest ones that stand out. Like which ones? There's like a magic potion one.
There's a potion. There was like a riddle with a potion, what you're supposed to drink. They took that out.
They just battled trolls at the beginning, but
There's a troll,
That's
yeah.
unconscious.
They shortened the devil's snare and like they just made it so that each person kind of had their own thing except for her.
And
She kind of she just kind of suggested something about the devil's snare though. That's really all she had.
Yeah, that's true. They really did diminish her because she's kind of pulling the strings. I mean, throughout the end of this book and a lot of the books, without her, they'd all be dead.
But apart from those tasks, though, the only real difference is I remember like Norbert. That whole plot's different with Charlie and the dragons and
They
stuff.
extend that. I mean, they what they do, I think, is broad strokes. They try to fit in as much as they can. Like,
Wasn't
hey,
it-
here's Quidditch, here's Norbert. But,
Yeah.
The time
I think it
before.
was
Go ahead.
Neville had detention, right? Instead of Ron.
Yeah, because Ron
Yes,
was
I
in the
believe so.
hospital wing for something, and that's when he reads.
I get why
name.
they did it. It's nitpicky, but
So we did mention this a second ago, but I do have to just throw out an animosity that the final points award ceremony is total bullshit of Dumbledore just to totally change the celebration, pull the rug out from Slytherin.
Well, Gryffindor got in the negative quick, too.
Tack that onto next year. Be like, and also at the end of the school year last year, Harry defeated the Dark Lord. They're starting with an extra 800. You know?
I'm going to say this, though. It's not just Dumbledore's being bullshit. It's everybody's scoring system being bullshit.
Yeah.
Like 50 points here, 10 points there. It's like a half-court shot like you make at an NBA game. Sometimes you win $1 million. Sometimes you win like life supply of Tombstone.
But all the time they try to say you crossed the line anyway. It's a bunch of bullshit. Go on.
Listen, I'd be like, hey, you can take 50 points from me, but you can be goddamn right that I'm not also doing detention. It's one or the other.
And as a teacher that's from Hufflepuff, I'm going to be like, hey, 800 points to Hufflepuff for fucking whatever. Just my house.
For being a Hufflepuff.
Yeah, for just showing up.
So I know this is covered in the books, and I know it's covered in the movies, but does Hufflepuff get to take classes with anybody else?
Yeah.
Or are they just kind of on their own?
Yeah, I mean, they all like buddy up. I think just like, like Harry's with Hufflepuffs. Isn't that when he's with Justin Finch Fletchley and shit when he's all scared of him?
Could be. I can't remember. I'd have to go to the source.
They are kind of promoting like a gang sort of environment that...
It's very separatist, these books, yeah. They have a lot
whatever the equivalent of shop classes are, the Hufflepuffs are taking a lot of shop classes. And like...
Yeah, it's called herbology.
That's true. They're taking, it's like, there's something wrong with my transcript. I've got 4 herbologies.
Scare magical creatures with that giant alcoholic that doesn't have a degree of any sort. That's about all I can think of. Divination.
Susan Bones, or not Susan Bones. What's the Jesus Christ? Madame Pomfrey. Does she do anything besides just teach people to fly? Do they actually have
that's
classes?
Madame Hooch. Madame Pomfrey's busy keeping kids alive that are on the brink of death.
Jesus. Let me look at my notes. Take that a lot. Does Madame Hooch, did she do anything besides referee?
No, and then
after
the first movie, she wasn't needed for anything, so she had a big old break.
Yeah.
You know, it would have been nice.
So she just teaches first years and refs games?
Yeah. Maybe it's more like she lives in Hogsmeade. She comes up on like the first few Saturdays in October.
It's like a passion.
Yeah, maybe it's something like that. I see that.
Hopefully in the TV series we can expound on that, because that's what happens in TV series.
I live in Hogsmeade. This is a passion. Settled it. Didn't need a whole episode.
Oh, I have thought about this. Quidditch.
Okay.
Each team plays each other once.
Jordan,
and that's your whole fucking season.
Scoring is just ridiculous.
No, I know.
The whole
it's soccer
roster,
based where you have to go
is dumb.
No, I know, but it's so important to these a-holes, but they only play 3 games all year.
Yeah.
It's a short season.
You should double up at least, maybe.
I don't know, a round robin tournament or something.
2 out of 3 here.
So they bring up sometimes like, this is the best Quidditch team Hogwarts had in 40 years since Charlie's. I'm like, how could you guys not have won it in the last 40 years? There's 4 fucking teams.
And you're Gryffindor. Theoretically, you guys are heroic and athletic.
You should be in it every year.
Yeah.
I don't know if as a student I'm going to climb those tall like bleachers to go watch either.
What is the least visited game? It's Hufflepuff versus what? Ravenclaw?
It's Hufflepuff scrimmage. It's a scrimmage game.
Hufflepuff's that one team, even though everybody's located on campus, like it's an away game every time for Hufflepuff.
Hear me out though, Jordan. Hey, you want to go out on the lawn and see a kid fall from 300 feet?
Yeah, let's go to the Puff game. These guys are gonna get the shit beat out.
You want to see who might die in the Quidditch match today?
All right, I'll go to the Puff game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's go to the Puff game.
If I'm just like a student stressed about going to Hogwarts for the first time, and I hear down the way Dickhead Potter say he's taking the whole lot of the trolley, I'm fucking furious.
Yeah, I just see her pass by my train car. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Come back here.
Yeah, she should also be like, no.
No.
Like, no. Like, have a little backbone.
2 chocolate frogs, max.
You want to talk about a passion job? If she does that twice a year, once down and once back.
Oh, and when kids get expelled in like Christmas break, she's like, well, I'll get the chocolate trolley going.
Yeah.
Question. Okay, so they can't use magic as kids, but Hermione talks about using magic at home, and people are definitely using magic on the train. At what point is it like, oh, we're on the Hogwarts train, I can use magic again? Is that like when the start time is?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think wizard people get to use magic in their wizard house.
You're not supposed to use magic outside of Hogwarts. So Harry gets expelled eventually because of it, doesn't he? Or The fifth book?
Seems like the Weasleys don't give a fuck about that rule.
Yeah, well, I guess like how does it trace that there's magic being used there? Because Dobby sets off Harry in the second book. So if
I think pre-wand, all your magic is like, oops. Like you're good.
And then,
I can't believe it. But then you got that one weird kid. It's like, my kid accidentally Avada Kedavra six mice and 26 squirrels. Like, is that a red flag? I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah.
Another negligent thing on Hagrid is just keeping that, high-tempered pooch up in the up on the third floor.
Oh, logistical question. What was that being used for before? After this year, do they like clear out those chambers and use it for classes? Like, what are they doing all that extra space?
A lot of extra space.
But they have multiple huge chambers for all these beasts and events.
I mean, it's a castle. There's many secrets. The big thing, though, I saw this. This isn't credited my idea. But I saw it like on a YouTube video. I think it was maybe even Honest Trailer. So you're just saying you trapped a 3-headed dog in this very small room for an entire year?
Yeah, Fluffy's got to run. He's got to get out and exercise.
Yeah, they made him a brute. They fed him very little and made him angry. Yeah.
And he's shit everywhere.
Yeah. We never hear about this dog again. Next year, they're just like, new adventure.
I think though, the Forbidden Forest is just like, put it in there. Like, it'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's the reason it's so dangerous. They keep just letting shit out there.
Yeah, it used to be just a normal forest. They made it forbidden, though.
They had an oddly big feast the next day.
We never ask questions about where all this meat comes from. You think it's the elves or whatever, the house elves, but
It would just be funny if they played this wizard's chess and they didn't even really need to. But I know they did, obviously. But it's
I did wonder that. So, like, once you stepped on the board, yes, you have to play the game because you're going to get killed by the wizard pizzas. But what if you just walked around the board?
Right. That's kind of what I'm
They don't address it at all. Is that what you're saying? Like, just, I'm going to sidestep the board.
I would assume they come alive and come after you and be like, no.
That's kind of where my mind went. And also, Ron's on the knight, right? He's on the horse.
Yeah.
It stabs through the horse.
Yeah.
Not you. Okay. Not Hermione.
Not me. Yeah. I mean, that's probably top 3 quotes of the whole franchise, right?
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. No, there must be another way. I mean, I've seen it mixed.
And, Avada Kedavra!
Well, yeah, sure.
The boy who lived. Yeah.
Yeah. But not me, not Hermione, you. I mean, I've seen that a million times. If anybody wants to do their best impression on the podcast, is that yours, Cameron?
Yeah, I'm sticking with what I did.
Barrel to the head. You're going to be in Hufflepuff or Slytherin if you only have
Jordan, if I can get in, I'll be Slytherin. I don't really give a shit. I'm there to come back into the Muggle world as a god.
That's true. I'm going Slytherin over Puff, right?
Slytherin.
No, Hufflepuff.
Would you rather be king of the Puffs?
No, because you don't want to hang out just with like the racist guys all day that casually drop the N word, which for them is mud blood. Like you want to hang out. You want to hang out in that dorm room, or would you just rather be with like the Hufflepuffs? Like, look, I made the biggest s'mores ever.
Good point.
I'd go Puff. That was fair. That was
a great,
that was a good. Yeah, it's just more fun loving.
Yeah,
like I can't believe they gave us nothing but herbology all year. Yeah. Like that's fine. Like coast.
I didn't get any classes this semester.
Says I've got open campus every day, all day. I do think that credit should be given, and maybe we already did on the podcast, but this first movie, if it flopped, probably the series would have been over. But they set the tone for everything.
True.
They made the world. It evolved, obviously, the look, the sound of it, whatever. But they nailed it in the first movie to allow it to get this stepping stone, right? Don't you think?
Yes.
100%.
And I think casting was probably the most important. I'm sure some people feel differently about maybe the main 3 kids.
I mean, with kid actors, it's always a pretty crucial step on whether or not
it's a big gamble, but I think it worked, don't you?
I think it worked, yeah.
It's the biggest gamble since Homeward Bound. Tell me just 3 animals are going to star in this movie?
What?
Think about how hard that must be.
At the end, we get introduced. Quirrell's Voldemort. Had Harry touched Quirrell at any other time, would he have burned to death, or was it just in that defense moment?
I think that's why he doesn't shake his hand at one point.
Yeah.
But like, if he just brushed him or bumped into him accidentally, I mean...
Yeah, there would have been
would he just melted in front of everybody and turned to ash?
Yeah, terrifying scene in the hallway today. Professor Quirrell just screamed and burned and it turned into ash. And then the ghost of Voldemort's head went screaming through the halls.
Okay. I wasn't sure. And you think, Cameron, that Dumbledore knew that Harry was
according to the
Quirrell?
According to the later books, that he was just letting that ride that year.
Okay.
Wild.
Okay.
My finishing thought is, I think I know it's John Williams, right? But I think it's got to be up there on one of his most iconic pieces of work.
The head
motif,
the Hedwig's theme, I would say so. The doo 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 doo.
Yeah.
It worked its way in there.
I think it's up there against your,
Superman,
a lot
Star
of kids
Wars.
today know like Indiana Jones.
They probably
that's probably true.
They've probably heard the music
and age with the younger generation.
Oh, there are new releases though, so they might. There's the new video game, and then there's
True.
I wonder in this new upcoming one what they're going to issue as music if they get to have that as a creative property. I hope so.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, he's got.
I have a feeling it's going to be
soundtrack
like the Hogwarts Legacy game, where it's music that sounds a shit ton like John Williams' Harry Potter music, but you can tell it's not quite.
Which I'd be fine with.
Yeah, if it's great music, it still works and gives me my jollies.
Well, the background you don't need, but I still need dun, 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 dun. Like you need the motif of that.
They
right?
didn't bring back the Superman theme for Man of Steel,
Yeah, but that seemed like we're going a different route. We're intentionally doing it. Not that they couldn't use it, right?
Yeah, I think so. Same with Batman. We didn't bring the Dark Knight. We didn't have the iconic Batman shit.
Do you want me to go off on a little side tangent? I'll save it. Actually, it won't help the podcast.
Just to close out, then, just to reiterate, we love this movie. We love this series. The reason we're doing this is because we love it. So if we got a little nitpicky in this category, but that's what it's here for. It's us to call out the random
For
stuff
the record,
we saw.
I think Puffs are humans and they're good people, and I think Hagrid's a lovable guy. I love him, but he should be trusted with nothing. Negligent. Yeah, it's not his fault. He's drunk.
With that, we're going to move it on to our Mount Rushmore top four.
Mount Rushmore top four.
Mount Rushmore top four. In this episode, we are doing our favorite follow-up performances. I did from the kid actors, but our favorite follow-up performances from the actors of this movie. This week, we're going to go Mark, Jordan, me. Mark, what's your favorite follow-up performance of a kid and or any actor from this movie?
I'm going to go Emma Watson here.
Okay. You got some big ones.
Yeah, I got some big ones. There's the obvious there's the obvious remake. Well, there's a couple of remakes, but I'm going to go Perks of Being a Wallflower.
I feel like that would be the best artsy choice. I didn't mind Beauty and the Beast as much as the world seemed to
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It was a pretty straight adaptation.
Yeah, it was a close adaptation.
Perks of Being a Wallflower, I like. She does a very bad American accent in it, right? Not convincing.
I think.
But I like the movie nonetheless. It's fine.
She also has another one, The Bling Ring.
Yeah,
I didn't get around to that.
It's all right, but it's kind of heisty that I enjoy. That's kind of my vibe, so.
A movie of hers I forget that exists, but she was in Noah with Russell Crowe.
As long as we're doing hers, I will just do. She shows up in the This Is the End.
Oh right.
Oh yeah, that's actually a really good. That's a really funny
cameo.
cameo.
That's probably like my favorite cameo with her in it.
Funny enough, Tom Felton, Draco Malfoy has a Get Him in the Greek Harry Potter cameo.
He's like, let it go. That was actually pretty funny. Yeah, shout out to him. All right, Cameron, I will go Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
Who?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Sorry, Daniel Radcliffe.
It's the French pronunciation.
He obviously has done the most work, and I got to respect him because he's already rich.
Yep.
He obviously enjoys acting. He won a Tony recently, so he does a lot of stage work too. Tony. And he seems to do pretty much whatever he can get and wants, right?
Sure.
And he takes a lot of interesting roles. So for Amanda, I'm going to make a shout out to the TV series he's in.
Miracle Workers, you got to.
Miracle Workers.
Mark, if you still haven't seen it, it is hilarious. You should see it.
But if we're just gonna go movies, he was in a romantic comedy like in 2010 or whatever.
The romantic comedy Guns Akimbo.
Oh yeah, I do want to say, since we're on Daniel Radcliffe, other movies of his I did like. Guns Akimbo is good. If you don't know that, two guns are taped or like attached to his hands. We've talked about
What If. Sorry, the 2013 romantic comedy What If. It's like, I don't know. I saw it a lot. It was on Hulu for years. So
I haven't seen that either. I'll check that out.
I don't even remember that. Other Daniel Radcliffe
He has
movie?
about as much chemistry with the girl in the movie as he does with Hermione dancing in the tent, but I like it. It's fun. There's other people outside the romance. Yeah. Adam Driver's in it. It's funny.
Other Daniel Radcliffe movies, Guns Akimbo's really good. Guns attached to his hands. The Woman in Black could have been good. Wasn't quite there.
The Woman was Black was like his big, I'm not Harry Potter anymore, it felt like.
Swiss Army Man. We've already talked about that, I think, in a previous podcast. But
Swiss Army Man's funny.
Isn't he like a skinhead in a movie?
In something.
It looks like Imperium or something.
Oh, that's
that's right. Horns was kind of interesting. Go back and see that if you didn't. Okay, so I'm going to go last here, and I'm going with Rupert Grint, Ron. And I don't think a lot of people saw this. This is, I believe, an M. Night Shyamalan, but check out Knock at the Cabin. It's a suspense thriller where essentially some cultists show up to a family and say, you have to kill yourself or it's going to be the end of the world. And the entire movie is, are they crazy? Is it real? It kind of back and forth. Where it's
a real Sophie's Choice.
Yeah. But check it out. It's good. But Rupert Grint hasn't done the most follow-up out of the kid actors. I'm sure we've all heard the story that he bought an ice cream truck after the movie and did that for a second. But some of his bigger things, Into the White, I think that's that World War II flying movie, Driving Lessons. I remember that getting really big hype.
I'm just glad they all got out and like did something different, because I think you can easily get like pigeonholed into like Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter, and it's for some it might be tough for people to see him as anything other than that.
And he always will be, but he's someone who takes such weird, goofy roles that it always does.
That helps.
I can accept it. I can always accept the new thing he's doing.
I thought about this before, like in comparison to somebody who played like a superhero when we were growing up. I think there's just so many more options to be in TV work in different movies now.
Yep,
true.
That you couldn't be like when you were Mark Hamill or something. You know what I mean? Like I think it's easier to transition to new things now if you're talented enough to.
Well, that was our Mount Rushmore for this week. Let us know what you thought. If we missed any good follow-up movies, for sure, let us know. Thanks for listening to our take on Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe. Listen on your favorite podcast app. We're always taking movie suggestions. You can email us at cultclassicspod@gmail.com or just hit us up on social media. And until then, we'll check you on the next one. Bye.
Nearly headless. How can you be nearly headless?
It's not me, not Hermione.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. My body's gone.
My body's
gone. Wizard Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry. Oh, that was terrible.
That was
I just woke up.
Terrible,
but great. Leading up to the release of Harry Potter 2, Jordan and I spent like a week after school eating DiGiorno pizza, watching Harry Potter 1, and doing Harry Potter trivia.
You asked me what I see in my mirror of air, said Cameron.
Little trinkets of knowledge of Harry Potter.
You used to have them.
Was part of your personality.
Yeah, I lost it. There's just so much room in here for
Prior
facts.
to being able to listen and watch everything ever made, I mean, I would just listen to these in high school on repeat. The audiobooks.
The audiobooks were great.
I was pretty sharp. Shout out to Jim Dale, one of the best narrators ever.
I will say you were throwing the V word out pretty liberally there.
Voldemort.